Guys, what happens here is we're in a social program. There's social engineering going on, and if you don't have a vision, an overarching goal that you have to strive towards on a daily basis, going from minute to minute, second to second, hour to hour, day to day, then you're going to succumb to the distractions that are all around you. And this has been with the Health Matrix, and we're talking about breaking through the barriers to health and wellness, true health, not the kind of crap that's been taught to us by our institutions and society in general. And I won't belabor the point here, but it is fairly obvious to see if you go and look outside with your own two eyes that our system is failing when it comes to health. Obesity, diabetes, hypertension, autoimmune conditions, different cancers, all these things are on the rise. They have been for a long, long time. Despite all the money that we've dumped into this medical system, all the new drugs, all the surgeries, all the treatments, obviously what's lacking is the proper nutrition, the proper movement of the body, the proper fundamentals that will keep you healthy. And so what I want to talk about here is using the programming that our society in this matrix system, as I call it, has used to program you. You can turn it on its head and use it to reprogram your mind. Kind of like a hard drive. You can uninstall and reinstall new programs. Because let me give you a perfect example. When I was out of school, I knew a ton about exercise and nutrition. I was working at a gym. I had a lot of talent. I was in great shape. But also I was around chasing after girls, going out partying, dicking around, playing a lot of video games, really not having any type of goal of any sort, any kind of vision. And so what happened is I just was succumbing to all these distractions. And what happens, I guess, as you get a little older, is you look back and you realize, all of those little dopamine hits that you're getting all the time throughout the day, whether it's the news feed on your social media or the porn that people are jacking off to, or the alcohol or the drugs or the tobacco, anything like this, the staring at women on social media or men or whatever you're into. Any of these things are distractions, right? And what happens is they give you that short-term dopamine hit, but it means nothing in the long term. Nobody remembers these dopamine hits. They come at you by the thousands. And what they do is they dumb you down. They make you docile, easy to control. And that's what this system wants. It wants you to be aimless and drifting. Like Napoleon Hill said in Outwitting the Devil. Drifting is when you don't have a purpose and you lose your way. And it happens to everyone, by the way. I'm not singling you out or anything and not saying that it doesn't happen to me. It happened to me for a long time. It still happens. It's happening every day. You get better at it though. And so what you need to have is an overarching vision. What is this vision that I speak of? Well, if I were to ask you, hey, what is your goal in life? And you can't answer me in some way, shape, or form right off the top of your head, you don't have a vision. See, what your vision's going to be. And that means, what do you want out of life? And this seems like pretty basic stuff, but it's like, where do you see yourself living? What do you see your family looking like? What do you see your significant other looking like? What kind of car are you driving? What kind of material possessions do you have? Where are you? What's the weather like? How are you feeling? How are your clothes? How much money do you need to make to get to these goals? These are all things that fit into your vision, your overarching thing. And the more detailed you can get, the better. So it's good to write these things down and to, write these things down and draw them and get the picture in your head, so that what I'm saying is when you go out into the real world and then you have the distractions that I was talking about, what'll keep you on track to make those good decisions. And I bring this back to health here in a moment. Help you make those good decisions is going to be, you have a reason to do so. Because discipline is very tough in this world and most people don't have it. And it's by design, right? We're kept distracted, dilapidated, and stupid, okay, for the most part. So when you go out to get that food, because let's talk about people being overweight and unhealthy, right? You go out to get some food and most people will just go for the quick fix and they grab a bag of Funyuns or some McDonald's cheeseburger. They know deep down inside it's not good for them. And then they wonder why they're sick and they wonder why they're fat and they wonder why they don't have energy and they can't sleep and their mood's all messed up, right? But it's hard to make the change because once you start to see what the matrix for what it is, and then you try and make those positive choices, society tends to try and drag you down. So again, you go decision to decision. So like you go out to make that next meal decision, and instead you're like, okay, what can I do that's gonna give me some protein, proper macronutrients, some clean water, give me the nutrition that I need to reach my goals, short term and long term, right? And each time you do that, each time you conquer that tiny little moment, that's a little win. You're stacking wins. And after a while, this is what becomes discipline. And then you start to create momentum. And so, just so much of this world and so much of what's going on here, because this world is a mess right now. There's so much going on and there's so much ridiculousness. I mean, socially, it's unimaginable. And then you look outside and it's like the country's falling apart. And people don't realize that the economy is just in tatters. People are walking around in a trance. They really have no idea what's going on for the most part. But if you can take control of the things that are going to impact your life, right? So again, make those small decisions step by step by step by step, and you will get to your goals eventually. And you will be going against the grain. This is not easy. That's why nobody does it, right? If you walk outside, you've got a gas station, you've got booze right down the street, you've got a McDonald's right down the street. There's not a lot of healthy choices. Finances are tough, it's a battle. And you have people that are going to be constantly trying to drag you back into that sphere of unhealthiness. But if you have the vision, right, in your mind, and you keep it in your mind and you're constantly thinking about it, and the more you think about it, the more your mind's going to make decisions that are going to gravitate towards that goal. And so when you go to get food, you're going to be able to think, what's going to make my body stronger? What's going to be the most nutritious thing here that's going to give me energy? And you're going to be able to do it because you have the vision. When you have the vision and you have the focus, you'll make better decisions. That's what I'm saying. And you'll craft discipline. And if you don't have that vision, then again, the distractions are just going to take control. They're just going to take over you. And you're going to find yourself drifting from one thing to the next, one dopamine hit to the next. And you're going to wonder why you're sitting there one day and you're fat, you're overweight, you're sick, you have no energy, your finances are in shambles, right? So breaking out of the matrix. Use the matrix programming that's been used against you in order to reprogram your mind to get to your best self. Peace out.